What is up, traders? Today we're going to explore the number one most overlooked piece of information that you need to know to validate someone's teaching to you. The reality is there are so many different types of setups, and what you will see in this industry is a whole bunch of traders calling themselves educators, showing you a setup form without revealing a very critical piece of information. What is the probability of that setup working out in our favor? The reality is, if this information has not been shared, then how can you implement it into your own trading? If it is a strategy or a setup that occurs once every blue moon, will that work with the way in which you trade? Is it a 65% win rate? Is it a 50% win rate? Over what pair? Over what time frame? Over which trading window? It seems so simple that if a trader was sharing a setup, they would include this information. This setup nets a 65% win rate at this trading window at this time, completely validating and giving you way more context to the reality of what that setup's worth is, the value of it. So this website, winrate.io, enables us to run a bunch of different calculations. As you can see, it's designed for crypto, but it will work on any platform. The numbers are all the same. You set your starting balance, you set your win rate, you set what your take profit is, your stop loss, and the amount of trades and the amount of leverage that you're using. Now, it's important to understand how leverage works. First of all, if someone's just putting a 10x leverage, you might as well just put a $10,000 start balance instead of $1,000, for example. So that number is kind of irrelevant as long as you set your starting balance correctly. In terms of prop firms and the leverage they use and learning how to scale accounts, there's a whole nother video that I'm going to share explaining the maths that basically equates to this leverage being kind of useless, but we'll go into that in another video. So as we can see here, for the starting balance of 1,000 with a win rate of 60%, with a take profit of 2% and a stop loss of 2%, over 100 trades, you're gonna net $300. Fair enough. Let's see, a trader that I followed and learned from claimed to have an 85% win rate. And his net RR was about 1 to 1.5, so we'll put it as 1.25. And what we'll do is we'll flip this account, this $100 account, by putting in some high percentage risk parameters. So for take profit, we'll put 25, and for stop loss, we'll put 20%. So we'll risk 20% of the account for 25% profit. Now look, if you've got an 85% win rate, the chances of you losing 5 trades in a row is very slim. So there's a very small chance that you're going to blow this account, if that is indeed your actual win rate. So let's take a look here. Let's run this and see what the profit might be. We've got $1 million and 807, well, 1,993,807, right? So as you can see here, in 100 trades, let's say you're trading once a day, so over a month is 20 trades, so over 5 months you would get to 100 trades. With this sort of win rate, with a starting balance of 100, you'd be a millionaire. Now, there's some advanced settings inside of this this application here, this online application, where you can set your max position size, because some brokers might limit the max position size that you can have. But let's say we had an indefinite sort of max position size. As you can see, we're starting to get to ridiculous numbers. We're at 58 million in 100 trades, 5 months, $100, with a 1.25 R, right? You're looking at $58 million, right? Is this likely? Have you ever heard of returns like this from some of the best traders in the world? It's something to definitely look into when someone is claiming a certain win rate percentage and then their figures are showing you slightly less returns, or returns that don't quite add up. Then it's a high likelihood you're being manipulated. Remember, guys, like, the most important thing to do in this game, especially with so much information, is you need to be able to decipher which information has credibility. And the best way to manage that is to see if it's data driven. Unfortunately, we're in an industry where all of the data can be manipulated. MT5 accounts are so easy to make fraudulent, and to get developer accounts or whatever it's called to basically be able to change all the data that's written on these accounts. So again, be cautious. The reality is trading is not that difficult, and let's look at some more realistic figures. Let's say you've got a 65% win rate. And let's say on a $100 account, you risk your take profits 15% and your stop loss is 10%. This is how I scale these small accounts. And again, you want to set your win rate just lower than what your actual win rate might be. That way, you're including all of the flaws in your execution, which could happen. It could be a down month, whatever it might be. So let's run this over 100 trades and see what we get. We got $20,000. So over 5 months, you would have turned $100 into 20,000. Let's add another 5 months by then adding another 100 trades to that. As you can see, we're in the $4 million figure amount. This is the power in which compounding works in our favor, and this is a realistic reflection of what a 65% win rate looks like when you risk 10% and you take 15% as your profit. This would take 10 months. What most traders lack is the patience that it takes to get through these earlier months. If we just did 20 trades 1 month from $100, you're only going to look at $189 return. In 2 months, at 40 trades, you're going to see that you're only up to 737. Now, let's think about this. Those are 40 trades. That's 2 whole months of trading. There's a lot of decisions. That's a lot of time. But this account is now growing slowly. Let's look at month 3. Month 3, we're up to $2,320. So at this point, 10% of that is $230. So we're starting to make some more significant gains that will actually be able to contribute to our sort of lives. In month 4, we're up to $7,000. Let's look at month 5, we're up to our 20. And now things start to get interesting because our balance is at 20K. So now when we start to make 10% of this figure, we are looking at $2,000. So just 1 month of trading a 20K account with this risk parameters, you're looking at doubling that account to $58,000. You add another month into that, and let's see where we might be. And this is the power of compounding. We've now turned a $100 account into $169,000. Let's add 1 more month just to kind of show you how these things exponentially start to expand. We're now at $489,000, and I know that any of you guys would be happy to see that. So the reality is, recognize that this is a turtles race, and what the most important thing is, regardless of your win percentage, looking for an 80% win rate, just a 65% win rate with a 1.5 to 1 risk to reward, or 1 to 1.5 risk to reward. You're looking to be able to really make a small amount of money turn into something quite substantial. But the biggest problem that we have as traders, that I've noticed within myself and with other traders, is just being able to be consistent through those beginning months with little returns. The greed factor sets in, we overtrade, we end up wanting to rush this process. Or maybe someone has set the bar too high by telling you can get an 80% sort of win rate in this sort of strategy or whatever it might be. And when you start to dip below that win rate, you start to get frustrated and you start to overtrade. So yeah, I hope this video has been valuable to you. Just remember, guys, if someone is sharing a strategy and they have not shared the data that is driven by, it's useless information. Chuck it in the bin. It's absolutely useless. It does nothing for you. It might give you a good idea to drum up your own data, or maybe ask that trader to give us data on what that actually means, that setup, because it's irrelevant. One unique event taken out of the huge scale of opportunities in the market means nothing. And you will find that any person that is in these financial markets trading professionally would never be able would sip onto this information and take it to heart, knowing that the core details about its value are not mentioned. Anyway, guys, stay strong, stay blessed, and yeah, I'll catch you on the next one.